Hello, folks. My name is Brian Carr. I'm a parent here in the Warren County school system, and I'm grateful for the opportunity for you to take a listen to what I have to say because um, I posted a Facebook post a few weeks ago, and apparently some people took it the wrong way. I went to a website called schooldigger.com and looked at the state TCAP data and was looking at the rankings for our school district. And I was kind of alarmed because out of 139 districts that were ranked, we ranked 119. And it shows the previous years where we were 121. And you can go back further years and see where they ranked. But anyhow, I was going to find my children's TCAP scores and see if they were released, and I just saw that this new data was available, and so I wound up making a Facebook post about it, and some people got bent out of shape about it, and it wasn't to be accusatory or be ugly to anybody or be negative. It's just to be realistic of where we rank as far as districts in the state and to let us know that there are things that we can do to have a better outcome or better performance. And I say that because if you go to the TCAP, which is the state testing that they do every year, it's kind of the culmination each year of how the children have progressed. If you look at their scores, the state doesn't do rankings. And let me first preface this. The teachers, the administrators, even the school board, they have to work within the laws that are set by the state. So it's a pretty level playing field. But I have a lot of people say, well, our district is different. Well, every district is different, but they all have the same things. And I'll talk about that a little later, especially when it comes to funding. But if you go to, those are just things I looked at. But if you go to the Tennessee Department of Education, you can find this information. We'll do a Google search for it. And I apologize. You'll see my history. TCAT district rankings, TCAT scores, state of Tennessee. You can go to this family portal right here, and that's for individual. If you have children, you should know how to look this information up. And I encourage every parent to look up and see because it's not just how your child scored, it's looking at areas that you can improve on. So, and they just released that, at least for my children who are going into the 7th grade. We looked at their information. So I don't want to pull that up because it's automatically going to pop up their social security numbers, and that's, or whatever, it might not be social security numbers, whatever numbers they have to do that. But, and as you look, as I'm scrolling through, there's all kinds of things that tell you about TCAP scoring and things like that. And I won't get into all of those. But, if you go to TennesseeDepartment.gov, you can look at that. You can look at districts. It'll tell you more about the districts. Let's see. I'm just going to have to find this here. If you look at, it's the state report card, I guess. TCAP. School report card or district report card. You can go to the TN state report card, and you can watch the video. It tells you more about how they analyze these things and everything. Let's go back to this, which compares districts. Okay, so this is, I'll scroll back and we'll see if it goes back. TCAP district results. This is about Warren County. So this is from the Department of Education. This is Warren County, this district that my children are in, and it talks about the total enrollment, 6,274. There's 12 schools. It talks about it gives the email for the superintendent, and it has designation satisfactory, and that's pretty important when we go through this. gives some more statistical data as far as total enrollment numbers, talks about some programs that our school district is involved in, or some designations for it, tells some racial and ethical statistical data, and then goes on to tell more. And it's pretty much, this is the overall data enrollment. It hasn't changed. There's not been much fluctuation since 2018. And then here's the bottom. So we'll scroll back to the top, because the big thing that we're looking at is performance metrics. And what we want to look at is growth. And let's see. Growth is measured using the Tennessee Value Added Assessment System, TVAAS. Not all children start at the same place with their learning, but every student should learn and grow throughout the school year. The growth indicator looks closely at the progress students are making within the district compared to the average progress of all students across the state. In the 22-23 school year, ELA and math assessments were used to measure growth in grades 3 through 12 using TVAAS. At district level, the growth indicator is the value added measure for the grade band success rate indicators. So this basically is telling you where we're at. And the report card provides data used for district accountability. All right, you have to remember the report card provides data used for district accountability. There we go. So this is district growth 3 through 5. So grades 3 through 5, we're at a level 1. And this is the composite growth is calculated with only math and ELA. And so it tells you what that means, but we just kind of read it. In the 22-23 school year, the growth level was assessed using the TVAAS combined literacy and numeracy composites. The figure above shows the growth score for students in 3 through 5 within the district. A district can receive a score between 1 and 5, with level 1 being the lowest and level 5 being the highest. Districts receive a level 5 when the significant evidence that their student made more progress than expected on state math and ELA assessments. In contrast, districts receive a level 1 when there is significant evidence that their students made less progress than expected on the state math and ELA assessments. The figure above shows the growth level for 3 through 5, so that's grades 3 through 5 students in this district. Why is this important? This demonstrates how much growth students in 3 through 5 have achieved in the past year at this district. It allows us to see the progress students in this district have made compared to other students in the state. So 1 bad, 5 the best. Okay, so there we are. So our district growth for grades 3 through 5, that we're at a level 1. That's the lowest level. District 6 through 8, again, we're at a level 1. Not so good. District 9 through 12, hey, 3. I'll take it. Ultimately we want a 5 or even a 4, but hey, we'll take a 3 compared to 1s. All right. So this is the data that comes from the state. It breaks down into like disability groups and ethnicity. I don't really care about that, because ultimately these all factor together. And there we are, 1 and 1, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, 1, 9 through 12. Hey, good job, high school. And with Warren County, we only have 1 high school. So looks like things are doing well. I don't know what past year's data is, and this might be the 22 through 23, or it might be updated. It doesn't necessarily say. It just says this is what they were using as a performance metric. So now we can go to the district results, and this is overall ELA for all grades, and this big number, or I should say big number, this number right here, that's the one that should concern us, and this is overall ELA. That's English Language Arts. I went to the Shelby County school system. My apologies. So we have a 31.7% of all students that have met or exceed the proficiency standard for the state, and it goes through the years. And man, it's it's about the same. There's a little variance. Um, it looks like some of our kids. Um, it's about the same. There's nothing to really write home about as far as I can tell. But if you look at this, there's 23.2% that are below expectation. There's 45.1% that are approaching expectation, and that's probably your biggest number of students when you look at these. And then you look at your 26.7% that have met expectation, and then your 4.9% that have exceeded expectation. And these two, the 26.7 and the 40 or 4.9%, that's what makes up your 31.7%. That's ELA. Let's go to math, because those are the two big things. Man, this is not very good. So you've got 27.7% that have met or exceed expectation, and these numbers, they're pretty much the same. We did have, it looks like in 2019, we had fewer students that were below expectation, but then you've got over here in 2024, you've got fewer students approaching expectation. So this should should be a cause for alarm. But again, it's not. No one's blaming the teachers or the administrators or even the school board. The parents have to take responsibility first, and that's me. Although as a parent and as a voter, the only thing that we can do to change our situation is to vote good school board members, because that's the only power that we have. And we can raise alarms like this and talk about this, but we've got to get the information out. We've got to let each other know. So I don't want to inundate you with too much here, because this can get, and you can go on for days. And again, the Tennessee Tennessee Department of Education does not do rankings. They just put out their metrics, their performance metrics, or statistical data through TCAPS, and then all the other statistical data like race and disability grouping, things like that. But that's what U.S. News and World Report and SchoolDigger.com do. They take this data and they organize it. Now, SchoolDigger does district rankings for every state. So if you go to SchoolDigger.com, and this is for people who are moving in. I apologize about the actual advertisements, because this is a for-profit business. But what they've done is they've taken, and they use all the states. They look at all the things that the state education departments put out, and so they take our TCAP scores. And if you go here to schools in Tennessee, you'll see, again, I apologize for the advertisements. I guess that's how they make money. But it talks about the different schools and school systems. And look, if you look at the top 10 elementary schools in Tennessee, the first, Merrill Hyde Magnet School in Hendersonville, that traditionally is always a great school. The second school in there, Discovery School of Murfreesboro, a little closer to us. Anybody who knows anything about Murfreesboro and knows about the education system in there knows that Discovery School is one of the best schools in the state. And so with saying that, we know that a lot of this information is pretty accurate, just with what little we know. If you know anything about Murfreesboro, everybody knows that the Discovery School is a great school. So if we want to look at how do we rank? Look at districts. Okay, districts in Tennessee. Okay, and it talks about the number of schools. Now, this is largest districts, top 10 districts. You can see best school districts. It talks about largest cities in Tennessee, things like that, and they all have rankings. So again, the rankings are not from the state. This is from SchoolDigger.com. But if you go see the best districts, apologize for the ad. Now, this is very important. Just in, Tennessee test scores and updated rankings for the 23-24 school year were recently posted in School Digger. Year after year, School Digger is always the first to publish Tennessee test scores and rankings. Other sites use stale test score data that are several years old. Be in the know with the very latest performance metrics. Okay, so they take our TCAT testing into account, our state scores. So if you look here, it ranks out of 139 schools. Now, I think there's 141 or 147 school districts. I apologize. Again, I'm a nurse, not in education. So I don't know everything about the state school system, but they only, the scores are only valid for so many districts. The overwhelming majority, but they hold some out for some reason. And I think that's testing bans or if they're doing something new. I don't know all the ins and outs, but anyhow, this is out of 139 school districts that they ranked, and I'll just go ahead and take it. Arlington, Williamson County, Lakeland, Collierville, Germantown. You got a lot of school districts that were formerly part of the Shelby County School District that went ahead and started their own school districts because they didn't want to be part of the Shelby County School District, and like Arlington, Lakeland, Collierville, Germantown, and they're relatively new school districts, but they're killing it. They're doing really well. Williamson County, we know, and a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's where all the money is." Well, that may have a lot to do with it, but that doesn't negate the other school systems that are close by to us. Because if you look, Trousdale is a smaller school system, Bristol, Gibson, but this one right here, White County, congratulations, White County, 22nd, and they moved up like 16 spots. So that's great. That's great. Now, there are other counties within there, but there's Manchester, 45th. Let's keep going. I'm going to find there's Van Buren, 59th. Keep going. There's Murfreesboro. Franklin County, 109. Sorry, it keeps. And here we are, Warren County. We were ranked 119th, which is okay. I mean, we were 121 last year, so we've gone up 2 spots. But we still have that 1-star rating that School Digger has given us. And like I said, in the Tennessee TCAP, Department of Education, we had 1s in those designations, but we had a 3 at the high school, so that's really good. I'll take that. And so that's where all this came up from. And if you hit Warren County, it'll tell you about the Warren County schools, but it'll also give you where they rank. And this is just the district statewide performance. We were performed better than 28.6% of other districts, 23% better than other districts. Now, 2018, man, I don't know what happened, but whatever we did, we need to get back to that. And we can. I know we can, guys, but we've kind of had this downward trend. And so that's what I'm looking at. They've also ranked the schools, and you can go through here. I won't go into individual schools, but we've got some schools that are way in the back, and that should be concerning to everybody. So it talks about schools that are close by. Sorry for the advertisement. You look at Van Buren County. You look at everybody who's around us. Cannon County is the only one we outperform, and I'll show you what's very interesting about that. Because when you go to the Department of Education, you can look at this, find a school district map, and they have designations. Okay, these are all the school districts in the state of Tennessee, and these are the designations. You got exemplary, which are the best schools. You got advancing, which are schools that are working to improve. You got satisfactory, which are and then you've got needs improvement, which are the worst. And let's go to needs improvement. If you look at the state, and we'll narrow this down. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 school districts that are considered needs improvement. Now let's go to the opposite end of that. Let's go to exemplary. Have about the same. Looks like 2 here. You have to scroll in a little closer. But yeah, you got Dyer County and Dyersburg. You got Bells, Gibson Special District. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Come on, 12. That's typical bell curve for the most part. You'll find good and bad, and then you'll find the ones in the middle. And if you look at the advancing schools, and I'm scroll into where we are, and this is us in the middle of Tennessee, and this is McMinnville. Warren County is not there, but as far as advancing school designations, Van Buren, White County, Putnam County, DeKalb County, Smith County, you'll see both Murfreesboro City and Rutherford County here. You have to scroll in to see them both. You got Manchester and Coffee, you got Tullahoma, you got Lincoln County, Moore County. Man, you got Grundy County there, and that's great for Grundy County. They've achieved that advancing, and that means that overall their scores are heading in the right direction. They're making strides. Now, if you go to satisfactory, which is the last one, not as many schools on there, and there's a huge gap right here. And so if you get in, there's McMinnville, there's Warren County, you got Sequatchie, you got Bedford, Marshall. Man, we're like, the lonely island here. We're the only one that's satisfactory anywhere close. So again, this is from the state of Tennessee. This is from the Department of Education. So you can compare districts, and I'll go back to this where I was showing you TCAP district results. But if you go to compare districts, we've got Warren County here, and again, statistical data, number of teachers, 441. They are our largest employer in Warren County, and they are our greatest tax expenditure. And I'll show you why. In Warren County, our budget is around $67 million, okay? And it shows where that money comes from. 51.7% comes from the state, 26.8% comes from the federal government, and 21.5% comes from the local government. And I think this is last year's data. I think we've gone up to about $68 million for this next school year. But we spend about $10,737 per student. Now, you can compare these districts, and I won't get into that. We'll do that some other time. But that's just letting you know where we stand. And look, no one's trying to badmouth teachers or administrators or the central office. But again, as a parent, I've got to be aware of this, and it ultimately begins with me. But as voters, we have our constitutional right to vote, and we need to put people in office, and that not just in our school board, but in our state offices that understand education. So I encourage anybody with a background in education to please get into government. Please, you can join me at the Republican Party. Look, I don't care really what you are, and I don't really care who wins unless it's people who have our students first and not an agenda. We've got to work on getting these test scores changed. We've got to do the best that we can for our students and teachers and our community. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't mean to be divisive. People need to know. So the stuff that's come out on Facebook and the post about School Digger, people can get all worked up and everything, but that doesn't deny the fact of where we are. And it's going to take us all working together to solve this. So I really want to thank you for staying with me. If you stayed with me this long, I appreciate it. But I hope you guys have a great day, and you can find me on Facebook. You can I'll post other social media stuff. But thank you, and have a great day.